Hello guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Hlulani Baloyi. I welcome you and thank you for stopping by. I hope you decide to stay. If you are returning, thank you so much for returning, family. I love you so much. I love your loyalty. And I just want to thank everyone who's just subscribed, guys. I am trying to grow, so I've kind of been running this road to 600 subscribers, and hopefully when this video goes out, I would have reached that. Crossing fingers. So yeah, today I actually wanted to generally talk to people who actually would love to travel for the first time. So things that you need to know if you are traveling for the first time. There's always a first time for everybody. I remember my first time I was going to Dubai, and that was such an interesting experience on its own. I loved everything about it, and there's generally things that I needed to know or things that I wish I had known. I think luckily for me, when I was traveling for work. So I think the experience is different from someone who actually is traveling on their own and they are trying to book everything all together. So for me, there were instructions that are already provided for me to actually know the kind of documents that I need to provide for getting visa and for just traveling in general and booking flights. There's a lot of things that I didn't really have to worry about, but I imagine that someone who actually is traveling for the first time and they are just going on their own, booking everything on their own, might need to know. So I have I think 6 of them that I'm gonna share with you, and I hope it's gonna be helpful for anyone who's planning to travel. And all I can say is all the best for your next travel. Traveling is amazing, and I would want everybody to experience it. I'm sure, I know that there's people who actually don't really care much about travel and things that comes with it. So, but for someone who's actually really, really inspired to travel and would like to know just the nitty-gritties of things that you need to actually think about, this is for you. So let's go. Number 1. Yes, so I have 6 things that I would want to share with you. Could be 6, could be more, I forgot. But I have 6 things that I would want to share with you. Things that you need to note for you to make sure that you are ready for that first flight that you take abroad. And I just want to be able to make sure that you are set up for success, and this is what this video is all about. So the first thing obviously is having to make sure that your passport is ready. And why do I think passport is important to mention in this case? Obviously you do need passport to travel abroad, but then sometimes you could be traveling for the first time and somehow you actually have applied for your passport a long time ago and it's expiring. So in you making sure that your passport is ready, you are checking that your passport is not expired. You are checking that your passport is not expiring in the next 6 months, because that also really counts, I think, for some countries. I don't know if it's all, but for some countries you want to make sure that your passport is not expiring in the next 6 months. And then you just want to make sure that you have it with you, just like that. And the next thing would be making sure that you have your visa. So this is obviously really important. So visa for every other country that you travel to is really important. There's one thing that I would want to advise for everybody who's actually traveling for the first time and you don't know how visas operate and how visas work. So you want to go and check in Wikipedia. I think Wikipedia has good structured information around places that South Africa requires visa for. So in some places you will check, and then in a country let's say for example I want to visit Kenya, and you just go on that place on Wikipedia, just say visa requirements for South Africa, and then it will give you a list of countries, all the 198 or whatever countries that are available in the world. And you will see that for Kenya, visa is not required. or for Bali, visa is not required, or for Dubai or UAE, visa is required. And then like, so it's either required upon arrival or not required. So that is like very much of great information that you need to know, that because like not every country requires a visa, but some countries requires your visa, and some countries requires visa upon arrival. So another trick with visa upon arrival, so some countries, even if it's visa upon arrival, you find that that visa upon arrival is free, but some places visa upon arrival could be something that you need to pay for. So something to be very mindful of: visa is paid for, and visa upon arrival in most cases is paid for as well. Where you don't require visa, you just show up, basically. How amazing. So yeah, that is like something that you really need to look out for, the visa information, and make sure that you check that. And upon you checking that, the next thing would be you would need to check whether you can apply this visa online, because I know with other places, not every country has an embassy in South Africa. I could be wrong with this information, but you can actually go check. But one thing for sure is that you will need to check whether they have like the nearest embassy. It's easier, at least for me, I find it really easy to actually like apply via the embassy. And also like, well, if there's an online platform, or rather, like, I'll give an example with Turkey. Turkey has like a very much of a seamless experience when you're applying for visa online for South African. Well, so visa is free for Turkey, for example, but then you have to have it. You have to like have it with you either way. It's just that you don't pay for it. So checking that kind of information is really important for you, whether you can get the visa online or you can get the visa, you can only get the visa via the embassy because you have to drop some documents and stuff like that. All this information is found online. So check that out and look forward to that. And I hope that is going to be helpful from a visa point of view. Another part is making sure that you have travel insurance. I'm going to actually come up with like or rather create a video regarding travel insurance and why it's important. I know that there's a lot of people who actually don't really use travel insurance, but then just like for your information, I view travel insurance to be something that is really important, because you want to be in a position where you are safe, or you are traveling safe, and you know that should anything happen to you when you are abroad, you will be covered and you'll be taken care of. I think I've never really like experienced anything really terrible, except for the fact that when I was in Nairobi, I got terribly sick, and I was there for work, so it was different. I was able to go to the hospital and treated well and everything, but like that's a different story altogether. But you want to make sure that you have travel insurance. Should anything happen, your travel insurance is able to cover that. So I'm gonna create a different video. I'm gonna come up with a different video regarding travel insurance and its importance and everything. So at this point, just know that you do need a travel insurance. Another one is making sure that you book your accommodation. Just as simple as that, obviously. I'm actually noting like really obvious stuff. So for some people, this could be like basic information, and I'm really sorry if this is basic information for you. This video might not be for you. So this is for someone who's actually traveling for the first time. So booking your accommodation, I am also going to create another video on how I book my accommodations. I have different applications that I use and what I look forward to from a booking accommodation point of view, because I think I'm an all-rounder when it comes to accommodation. Sometimes I do go for luxury. Sometimes I just generally am a backpacker who doesn't really care how much or where I get to be sleeping at, because it's for different reasons. So yeah, that is one. And another one is making sure that you book for cheap flights. So I always want to do things that, or rather get things cheaper, and I want to make sure that everybody else do it that way, unless you are just like someone who's like splurge and want to spend and all those things. If you are like me and always want to bargain on stuff, I would suggest that book good cheap flights. I have done a video already on how I book, or rather how to book flights in a cheaper manner. I'll attach the video below for you to actually check it out if that interests you. And yeah, make sure that you are not spending an arm and a leg when you are actually booking for flights. And okay, the next thing you want to do is compare or check your options for moving from the airport to your accommodation. So this is like really important, because like you get into a new space, you don't know anyone, you don't know what is happening there. Beforehand, before you travel, you leave wherever you are in the world, you want to make sure that you are checking this basic information to know that, hey, when I get to the airport, these are my options. I have Uber, I have Bolt, I have what's this? I have a shuttle, or hotel shuttle for that matter. I have public transport. How accessible is it? I have underground train and all those kind of stuff. So which one is which one is available for you? And in you finding that information and searching for that information beforehand, it makes sure that you are at ease when you get to that place. And you want to be in a position where you actually compare. So like, let's say for example, you are staying at a hotel. Some hotels actually have shuttles from the hotel to airport and vice versa. So you want to be in a position where you compare those, because I think the misconception is that in most cases the shuttles from the hotel are mostly expensive, but it's not always the case. Some places don't really, like some places are actually like cheaper. Even some of them actually even provide free transport from the airport or to the airport. So you want to check all those information and make sure that where you are set when you are actually traveling, and it's convenient for you. Because one thing that you wouldn't want to do is inconvenience yourself in a foreign country. It can be pretty daunting when you are like sort of just moving around at the airport and you don't know what to do with yourself. That time you actually haven't even bought like a SIM card, so it's just like a mess in general. So you don't want that for yourself. Which takes me to the next thing, whether or not to buy a SIM card when you are in a different country. Myself, I would tell you that you buy a SIM card, because I think it sort of like just puts you at ease and you are able to move around and search for things. Data is normally like even cheaper in other places in the world. So you want to make sure that you have just like a basic amount of data for you to be able to search for information, where you can find what at a certain time and all those things. So get yourself a SIM card and make sure that you are able to either text the hotel, or either book for Uber, or either search for the next coming train and all those things. So one last thing you want to do is register with the Department of International Relations and Cooperation that you will be traveling. Give them dates and everything. This is very important, because then if something or should anything happen to you when you are abroad, the department, or rather the ministry, is able to actually make sure that you are taken care of if there's like deportations that need to happen and all those things. Like, let's not be naive. Things can basically happen, so things can generally happen when you are abroad, and you want to make sure that you are safe and your country is looking out for you. They generally will do. Luckily, I've never really had like a bad experience where I actually need to be deported for whatever reason. But like, should something like that happen, it's good to know that you are actually in a position where you are safe. Your country is looking out for you. Another thing that I have done, because for me, I normally travel for longer, or rather I would travel for longer. That's back then. I'd be traveling for longer. So in my traveling for longer, what I would do is visit the embassy as well. Like, hey guys, I'm actually in the country. This is what I'm doing. This is where I'm staying, and all those kind of things. So building that kind of relationship with the embassy. I mean, you wouldn't want to do that maybe if you are traveling for a week, because going to the embassy on its own is actually like, I think, taking some time off your travel. So maybe that might not be ideal for you, but like, if you do have time, do that as well, because they normally, like, I think a lot of embassies, South African embassies in other countries, they're normally really friendly people. They are good people who actually you can like really relate to, and they're good in general. But otherwise, guys, I wish you well for everybody who is planning to travel abroad and everyone who is actually looking forward to that first time experience of like really traveling. It's really amazing, guys, to be very honest. I remember when I did my first travel, it was actually like with the UAE, going to Dubai and being welcomed by like amazing glitz and glams of Dubai, which I actually don't think of Dubai as like my travel destination of choice right now, but like for me, traveling for the first time, it was really, really amazing. It was such an exciting experience. I loved everything about it, and I wish you happiness when you do it. I wish you get to experience all the fun that comes with traveling and all those things. We travel for different reasons, and yours are really valid as well. And may you experience the bliss that comes with traveling. And I hope these tips help you get to that point where you are not really like stressed out when you have to travel. And if you have any other tips that you think I might have missed and are really important, please comment down below and make sure that other people are actually able to get whatever it is that you know. And we are just like a big community, or rather a community that is able to share with each other. Another thing, guys, please subscribe if you're not subscribed. I am on a road to 600. Hopefully when this video drops, I would be 600. If we are not 600 as yet, please share with everybody and make sure that this video reaches them, and then they are able to subscribe. I love you guys so much. Thank you.